All right, guys, we're live now. Finally, we got it worked out. We're both online. Me and Chris. Chris, say hello.
How are you?
All right, we're gonna start with just again thanking everyone for joining the league and helping us get off to a good start. We it hasn't been that long. We just didn't take us long to get going, and now we have it going pretty well. Almost at full capacity finally, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get there by the end of the week. We'll have our 32 teams filled. Uh, Chris, you want to say anything before I get started?
Whatever you want to do, man. We can just get rolling.
All right, we'll go ahead and start talking about the league. We're gonna start with how we started. Go ahead and explain that on how you kind of decided to form a league.
You want the long version?
I want the good version.
You want the good version? All right. So, let's see. Started playing this in Madden '09. Had a few good leagues that I was in, and I don't know. I was fortunate enough to play in a few good leagues. It was fun, but I wanted a little more realism. So, over the past three Maddens, I sort of got into Red Zone and GFL that I played you in, and then I don't know. I sort of got a little sick of all the arguing and bickering and stuff, but that is what it is. So I decided to make a league, something that we could all, I guess, something the owners could run instead of like commissioners. Gets kind of old people, two or three people making all the rules. So uh, I think so far we've done a good job. So that's why I made this league, just for more of a fun factor, I guess.
Yeah, try to get everyone involved, not just have four guys doing everything. And
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of different things.
I
You know,
find
we
I find
go
it
ahead.
actually makes it easier on us for for having the league vote on things because instead of having to have all the backlash from why the hell did you change this? Why did you change that? Why didn't we do this? Why did we do that? We have other guys' input to where it doesn't just fall on us; it falls on everyone in the league. And like you had said before in the main chat about how it's our league, it's not just four guys running the league.
Oh yeah, it's everybody's league, and I mean it is easier on us, but you see a lot of leagues fall apart because people just can't get along, or they don't like the way the rules are changed around, or they don't like each other just flat out, whatever it is. I think we can avoid that by letting everybody basically run the show with having very limited veto power in terms of what we can do, and we could just be moderators.
Right, right. Well, I kind of said it before, but our job mainly is just to make sure everyone's following the rules. We're really just enforcers with and recruiters. We're trying to get guys to join the league. We try to get guys to stay in the league, and we try to make sure guys are acting appropriately toward other members of the league. Playing games on time, scheduling on time, all that good stuff.
Oh, absolutely. So there's not really a. I mean, I could go really into it, but I mean, it gets really long, boring. So we could just cut to the juicy stuff.
Okay, well, we're gonna start with one of the guys that had sent me a message today asking about slider changes. If we plan on changing any sliders and what how far we go with it.
You want to talk about pass rush first?
Yeah, we'll go with pass rush.
I know that was a huge question earlier today. Um, it's really hard for me to even start to formulate an opinion on the pass rush because my team is just flat out terrible. I'm not afraid to admit that one. You know, uh, you have to keep guys in to block or you're going to get killed. Definitely hear the discussions of the pass rush being too good, but I can't sit and say myself because I mean my team should be giving up sacks, so it's easy for me to sit and say, oh yeah, we need to raise the pass blocking. I mean, I don't really know. We need everybody else's opinions for that one. I can't give any opinion on it.
Now I'm in the same boat as you. My O line is horrible, and pass blocking and run blocking. So it's kind of hard for me to have a real opinion on whether or not to change it, and if we would change it, how far to go with it. It's not like I'm getting hammered every game where I'm getting sacked 10 times, but there are games where we're seeing guys get sacked, 5 to 8 times a game, which is that's a good bit. But on the other side of that, it some of that's user fault and some of it could be AI, but I think a lot of it's going to be on us, not necessarily on Madden itself.
I think a lot of that too is, we do allow them to use the defensive line, so we're going to see a lot more pressure, and I think some of it is, I mean, I'll hit it on it for the interception slider too, but we see a lot of guys making bad throws, and I think some of the guys in here who aren't making those bad throws and getting real bad picks, they're holding on to the ball and they're just taking those hits, which is actually a good thing in my opinion. Even if we are seeing a little higher of a sack count, I think that'll even itself out as the season goes on. But I'm open for change. Everybody's got their own opinion, so we could keep testing it and see where we can change it.
Right. It's just two guys here having their own opinion on it. We're no different than they are. We're no better than anyone else in the league when it comes to, playing the game itself. So if people have a problem with the sliders, surely we'll change them. That wouldn't be an issue when it comes to pass rush for sure. Because it is, I can see where it might not be as fun whenever you're getting sacked every other play. It feels like.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I'm getting sacked just about every other play. So, I mean, I haven't heard anybody, complain about. I really haven't heard anybody complain about too many injuries, which I'm really actually kind of happy about because I know.
I'm kind of surprised by that because we have the injuries up pretty high right now.
Right. Well, now Matt Ryan in his 90 injury, he gets injured every single game for some reason. You know that because we played in another league together where the same thing happened to me.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys want to put pass blocking up to 99, we can do that. I'll be totally for that. Because right now I can't run block, I can't pass block, I can't do anything. So hopefully we get a few more guys who want to shed some light on the pass rushing thing, whether it's user or if it's just we need more pass blocking.
Well, I think that's where the owner opinions come into play more because we post a poll pretty often. We need everyone to vote every time. For that reason, if we post that we want to change something and only 7 people vote, it's hard to change anything. We only get 7 votes when you have 28 owners in the league right now. Also, as far as PM and the commissioners, me, you, Dennis, and Danielle, if there's any issue you have, we're not going to take it as you're bitching or you complaining about it. As long as it's not coming off as bitching and complaining. But if you're telling us like, look, man, I'm having this issue, and I don't think it's just me, or maybe it's just me, but this issue I'm having, that's fine. We understand that. We can change things from there, or at least, at the very least, have a poll on it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. You got anything else on that one?
That was the only 2 sliders. Well, really 3. I wanted to talk about the injury slider, but we've kind of went over that already, and the interception slider. As far as we kind of briefly touched on that, but I'll go ahead and add to it that I think you're right when you're saying that the guys are really just forcing too many passes, making bad throws. I'm not seeing. I threw a lot of picks my first 2 or 3 games, but damn near all of them were my fault. It wasn't AI. It wasn't guys warping to the football, which is really what you have to look for.
I've had a couple like errant throws, that have been really bad. But I mean, if you look back, it's either my quarterback's under like extreme pressure, and I'm just trying to get rid of the ball, and whatever that may be, he throws a bad pass, or I don't set the quarterback's feet. That's like number one reason I think why we get so many bad throws is because we can't set our feet. We're thinking that we're gonna keep moving in the pocket or out of the pocket or whatever and try to throw the ball, and you can't do that.
That's another thing. Not just the setting your feet, but I'm not sure if this was in Madden last year. I don't remember it being in Madden, but if you're under pressure, you're going to throw bad passes. If they're when that little red under pressure thing comes up on the screen,
I think
tells you that it's more of a chance you're going to throw a bad pass.
I know my controller vibrates now, and it seems like when it vibrates, my throws are all over the freaking place. So
that's when there's pressure. Your controller vibrate, telling you need to roll out or get rid of the ball. But when that happens, if your quarterback is, I'm guessing that has something to do with low awareness. If he has low awareness, he'll throw a bad pass. If he has high awareness, maybe he'll throw a more accurate pass. I'm not really sure how that works. Maybe it's the clutch trait. I'm not really sure. The other thing about the sliders was kind of explain what changing a slider is going to do. The interception slider doesn't just change interceptions; it changes coverages too.
Nah, the interception sliders are so touchy in Madden. What people don't actually realize is that the interception slider also affects how defensive backs play receivers in coverage. A lot of the sliders tie together, and I don't think people understand that. I know I didn't up until maybe a few months ago when me and you were playing with them.
Yeah,
We have a lot of guys throwing multiple interceptions per game. I think we already talked about that. But what I'm interested to go back and see, and if I get time, maybe this weekend, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back and look at some of the broadcast games. Um, how many are caused by errant throws? How many are caused by bad throws under pressure? How many were catches that we've seen wide receivers actually miss? And then how many interceptions have actually been dropped?
yeah.
Is the interception slider too high to the point where defensive backs are catching everything, or do they actually have a reasonable drop rate?
But
Um,
if we do decide to lower the interception slider, we have to go up on pass coverage.
oh yeah, we're gonna have to play with a couple different things if we decide to do that.
And
That's
the only thing I worry about with that though is if we change the interceptions and up pass coverage, are we going to get guys warping to the football? You know,
I think that's something we saw in a lot of the test games that we did was people warping to the football, and
right?
when we finally got rid of that issue, I think that's when we almost sort of, I'm not gonna say we stopped, but we definitely sort of slowed down on messing with any of the pass coverage. I do know that.
Yeah,
So
we went down enough to where we didn't have the warping. Same thing with defensive reaction time. We messed with that a lot. That and pass coverage, I guess, were the two main things we're looking at because for the most part, most guys in these leagues are passing guys. They are pass first offense. They don't like to run the ball, whether it's patience or whatever it is. Guys like to throw the ball. So that slider has to be harder than the rest just to have somewhat realistic stats. And one thing I like right now is the other league you and I played in. You couldn't run zone coverage at all. You ran zone, you're going to get burned. I know last season I ran zone most of the season. I had a bunch of zone guys, the guys that are high rated in zone, and I got murdered. I was like 31 or 32 against the pass last season. This
right,
season I'm playing a lot more man coverage, and I'm getting much better coverage. I know notice in our league we can play zone, and we can still get coverage like that.
right. That's something I liked. Yeah, I seem to be able to play whatever type of coverage I want. If I want to play zone, I could play zone. It seems like the guys who get open, they're supposed to be open in those zones. So, um,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see any real difference in man or zone. Just a matter of what the offense is looking like, really.
Well, I can tell you from my defense that's most of the guys are higher rated in zone than man, and I get destroyed man right now in our league, and in zone coverage I get much better coverage. So I think somewhere we have something right in there. I'm not sure which slider it is, but something's right in there that lets the guys play to their abilities. Maybe it's the all Madden level. I'm not sure.
And that's something that kind of scares me about changing interceptions. I think the coverage and the way the defensive players are actually playing the ball or playing the receivers, I really do think it's like spot on. And I'm
I
so
agree.
to change anything, and send it haywire one way or the other.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I like it where it's at. I
Of course,
wish I want everyone to like it where it's at, not just us. But
yeah.
you know,
I definitely think that that's going to take quite a bit of testing, to even change it. So we're definitely going to need guys to want to help us out here, which I know a few of the guys already offered. They already want to, so that's going to be pretty
right.
cool.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what we need too. We can't just make lower our interceptions down to 30 and bump up coverage to 80 and just
Yeah,
roll with it in the regular season. That's
I've said
that,
that too. Um, having these guys help us out and play some test games, even though yeah, they don't mean anything. Uh, Nothing on the line except for bragging rights, or if even if they don't want to play a whole game, they can play half. I think I personally get a lot more out of watching their games because I can see a little bit of everything going on as opposed to playing the game and then going back and watching it.
yeah. Well, when you're playing, you kind of zero in on one guy sometimes before the play. You have a certain play call you do, and you're thinking, I'm going to throw it to X on this route, and so you're not really watching the rest of the field to know how the play's really shaping out. Whereas when you're watching somebody else play, you don't know what they're thinking, So you're watching the defense and the offense kind of come together and do what they're supposed to do, making it easier for you to tell what's going on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right,
So I
that's
also
what.
heard there's still a few people that want to change the speed threshold too.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with them, but to put it into perspective a little on the speed threshold thing, I've seen a lot of guys. Oh, I've seen a lot of plays during like broadcasted games that I've watched where wide receivers actually have stepped on the defensive backs, and the pass isn't thrown because they get hit, or they don't lead the pass in front of the receiver, so the receiver has no play on the ball.
Right.
So I don't know if bringing the speed threshold down is really the best move, I guess.
Well, we've both seen what happens when you get the speed threshold wrong. When it's wrong, you have ridiculous games from fast receivers who are just they're shitty. They're not very good.
Right.
They're 65 rated wide receiver having 300-yard games basically. Because all they have to do is run a streak down the middle of the field.
Right. Um, I definitely think the running game, now that I have a running back that's half decent, I definitely think I see what they're saying in terms of like the running game, where the running backs get run down by linebackers and stuff like that. But
Uh,
I'm not sure how much of that is actually the angles the linebackers are taking, or if it's the speed. Um, but I do see where their reasoning is coming from to want to change that a little bit.
I think when it comes to that, we kind of have to look at the linebacker that's chasing him down. If it's just some bum off the bench, a second string player, and he's running your guy down, there's an issue. But if it's somebody like an elite linebacker, it doesn't make sense for him to run them down, but in the Madden world, it kind of does because they have the high pursuit, they have high tackling, they have high awareness, all that. So while they shouldn't be running them down, it kind of evens itself out. And I'd much prefer have running backs get run down from behind than have wide receivers streaking down the sideline every play.
Absolutely. Hey, I'll tell you what, I still see guys going on the sideline.
Though yeah, they still do it. And if you think about Sundays, how many running backs really break long runs constantly? It's not often. Adrian Peterson breaks them here and there, but even still, he's not pulling away from guys like he's much faster than everyone else.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, I still get Julio Jones running down the sideline wide open on guys. I mean, it's all about the matchups, really.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta pick and choose when you're gonna throw it. You can't just decide you're gonna throw it to Julio. Well, maybe with Julio you can, but there's receivers you can't just say I'm gonna throw it to him this play and it's gonna work every time. Which is what happens with a lower speed threshold. You can just say I'm gonna throw it to him, and he's probably gonna be open.
I'm just letting you know. My wife thinks I'm the biggest nerd right now as she's walking through the room.
Oh my God. Well, thankfully my girlfriend's taking a bath right now. She's soaking in one of those bath bombs.
She's
Uh,
soaking.
it's called a bath bomb.
Bomb.
It's like a ball of something they throw in the tub and it dissolves and it's supposed to be relaxing and smooth and all that.
Do you know what a bath bomb is?
Yes.
Oh, okay, my wife knows what a bath bomb is, but I do
Well,
not. And
of
I'm
course she
not
does.
myself, so.
I really just found out what it is. My girlfriend was showing me just now, like, oh, look what it does. I'm like, huh, yeah, that's nice. All right, back to football. We'll stop with the
Uh,
lady talk.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I guess we should talk a little bit about what sim football is and why we're doing sim football. I guess. I
You're
guess
gonna
uh,
make me reload. I don't
okay.
even have
Well,
notes on that. Oh,
I'll go ahead and
well, all
start.
right. Let's do it.
With sim football, really, you're just trying to make everything look like it does on Sunday. Throughout the season, you want realistic stats, you want realistic gameplay. You don't want the same plays over and over. You want guys, calling plays because of what the defense had called earlier in the game. If a guy's blitzing you all game long, you call a screen pass or you do a slant over the middle or something. If he's in man coverage, you're gonna run slants. If he's in zone, you're gonna run something that's gonna sit in the zone. You know, to me, that's a game I want to play, and I think that's what most guys want to play too. That's why they join the sim league, so they can play a game that's gonna look like a Sunday game.
Um, yeah, I know. I know too that we have a lot of new guys to like sim football, and I just want to say before we even start talking about this, that it's pretty awesome. A lot of them, they take some time to adjust, but they've been doing a really good job at doing that.
Oh, I
I
agree.
mean, I'm a little, uh, I don't know, I'll give them a hand for taking the time to adjust and actually sticking with it because it can be kind of hard at times.
No, it's definitely awkward at first. With the no switch and the LS rule and all that, it kind of at first you're like, I don't know about this, but after you play a couple of games and you really start seeing how it works, it does start to make sense. You just have to give it a chance. I played a guy, I believe it was the Colts owner, my last game, and he played real well. I think he played in sim leagues before, he said, but it was definitely a game where it didn't go his way. It was one of those Madden games where I got all the breaks and he didn't. But the entire game, it just felt like this is what a sim football game should feel like. Same
Right.
thing when I played Webhead, Daniel. When I played him, he's Tampa Bay. He's kind of new to the whole sim thing, but he seems to have it down pretty well. It's good to see.
It's just a matter of getting time under their belt. So I mean, the more games they play like that, the more they're gonna be used to it. And I know for a fact, been playing online franchise since Madden '09 when it first came out. Well, the online franchise did, and so for the first 3 years that I played Madden from '09 to I think it was either 12 or 13 or whatever it was, I played in a league that was it was whatever you wanted. There was no rules. You could do all that rocket catching. You could do everything in that game. Um, and you know what? It was fun, but I didn't really think it could be any more fun until I got into the sim style, and I think that it makes for a lot more interesting games. It makes your team building matter. It makes pretty much everything that's actually involved with Madden matter. It makes the ratings matter, the speeds, everything.
Yeah,
So I definitely
not
think
just
they're
speed, but everything else with it. There was a guy. Speaking of team building, one of the reasons to kind of try to stay involved with your team and pay attention to what's going on and stay active is, in the other league that you and I played in, there was a guy. I think his name was Gage. He was the Dolphins owner for 3 seasons. His first season, he made the AFC Championship. Second season, he made the Super Bowl and lost in the Super Bowl. But he was never paying attention to building his team. He was never at the draft. He wasn't paying attention to free agency, trying to make trades here and there. So season three, he had a losing season, and then he was gone by the end of the season. Just got to where his team was horrible. And right now, we're in season four of the league, and his team, that Dolphins team, is just pathetic. You know,
That's gonna happen too, though. You're gonna, if you're in a sim league and you're worried about building your team and stuff, you're gonna have seasons. Well, you're gonna have games and seasons where stuff doesn't go right for you. And the most important part is just sticking with it and making sure you pay attention to your team. Make sure you pay attention to the types of players you want and everything like that. If you want speed, make sure you draft guys with speed because you're not going to find speed on a free agent waiver wire. I'll tell you that much.
yeah. Well, one big thing is building a team to your style and how you want to, how you want to play the game. If you want to run a spread offense, you need spread guys to play that offense. If you want to run a 3-4 defense, you need 3-4 linebackers and 3-4 linemen to do that. You can't just decide I'm gonna do this with whoever I have and make it work. It just doesn't work like that.
That's another thing I'd like to say that now that I have this junk Falcons team, I will let everybody know that having 3-4 guys in a 4-3 and vice versa, it does not work in this moment for some reason. I have guys who are in. I think I have every scheme available in Madden on my starting defense, and it does not work.
So you have to have the guys that fit your scheme to play that defense.
Absolutely. There's
That's
another
more. Go ahead.
another league that always harps on having guys that fit his scheme, and I am starting to be a believer in that. I will say that.
Well, I'm a believer in what he says to an extent. I think he takes it a little too far. I don't think you should go out and take a guy who's 70 overall because he fits your scheme over a guy who's 95 overall because he doesn't fit.
Hey,
You know.
he tries. He tries. He's a good dude, though.
Oh yeah, no, he is. He knows what he's doing. It's just it's a little too far for me. Like on offense, I don't think, as far as I can tell this season, I don't see a huge difference in offensive schemes. Whereas, like, if I have a wide receiver who's a spread wide receiver, and I have another one who's a West Coast, and then I have an offensive lineman or a power run or uh, whatever other kind of offense there is. I'm drawing a blank right now, but you kind of get what I'm saying there. I don't see it. I don't see a big difference in having guys with different schemes on offense, as much as I do on defense.
I haven't really seen it on offense. I definitely am starting to see it on defense quite a bit though. So, I mean, I guess it is what it is. You just try to build your team the best you can, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it kind of comes down to you can only do with, I guess, build with what you have and what's available. So if you really want to run a 3-4 defense, but there's no one in the draft or in free agency to do that, you kind of screwed for the next season. You just have to deal with it and run a 4-3 or vice versa. You can't run a hybrid if you don't have the guys to run a hybrid either. So you kind of just have to go with it until you get there. You don't build a team in one season. It takes multiple seasons to get to that goal of where you want to be. You don't do it in year one. Maybe by year 3 you should be pretty close to where you want to be, but year 1 and 2 is going to be kind of rough for you.
All right. What else you want to hit on these sim rules? How about the left stick? Should we talk about what I tell everybody? And this might not. I don't know. It might not make sense to some people, but I think we can all agree. We know what a 45-degree angle is, right? I mean, that's. I always tell people, look at your controller. If you don't want to go straight to the left or straight to the right, if you can, always keep your cuts on your controller at a 45-degree angle. That's how I finally stopped left sticking everybody, because man, these sim guys really complain about that too. So just keep your controller at a 45-degree angle while your sticks when you're running. I mean, there's nothing really.
I think what would help me the most to kind of get it down was, and it kind of sucks at first running the ball, but whenever you call a play and it shows the route of your running back, just try to follow that route at first until you kind of get used to how far 45 degrees is.
Right.
If you're following the route that's called, you can't go outside of the rule. You're never going to break the rule.
Right.
Which is why I think a lot of guys in sim leagues run inside zone out of shotgun, because with that play you have an option to go inside or outside, because it's such a wide. I was to say you're starting so far behind the center that you can shoot up between the guard and the center, or the guard and the tackle, or go outside the tackle without ever going outside that 45-degree angle.
What else do we got here? Sim rules. The switching. That's
switch.
I don't know if we need to really go over that.
No, it's pretty self-explanatory, and I think I explained in the last podcast about why we have the rule. It's really just to make sure that you're building your team. You're not just getting fast guys and running to the ball. You have to have with no switch, you're kind of better off having a guy who's 81 speed at a linebacker with 90 pursuit and 90 tackle than you are having a guy who's 90 speed with like 60 pursuit and 70 tackle. Same thing with awareness. You need the higher awareness and play recognition.
Let's see. I just brought up the rules. It's kind of funny. We spent how long making these rules, and I sat here, typed it up 3 or 4 different times, and I'm sitting here going back over them myself.
Man, I forgot all about the 4th and inches rule where you can go for it, on your opponent's side of the field.
You know what? When did that come up? Last weekend?
Last week, yeah.
Just so everybody knows, make sure you read the 4th down rules, because they're a little different than other leagues, I guess. You can go for it anytime it's 4th or less between your opponent's 35 and 49-yard lines.
4th and 5 or less.
4th and 5. What did I say?
4th and less.
Oh, well, 4th and less. Yeah, you got it. 4th and 5 or less. So if you're just out of field goal range and it's 4th down, I mean you can choose to go for it if you don't feel confident in your defense. Um, that's your own problem if you give the ball up, at the halfway point of the field. Uh, 4th and 1 unless you can go for it any time on your opponent's side of the field. So I mean, I know we had an issue over the weekend, whenever it was, about a guy. What did he?
He was up at the end of the game with I think 2 minutes left and went for it on 4th and inches on his opponent's side of the field instead of kicking a field goal.
By three, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I mean it was in the rules. I know the other guy was a little hot after he felt like he got cheated out of it, but it wasn't against the rules. So I mean, there's nothing we could do.
Well,
And
you think if you're on the other side of that, if you're the guy with the ball and it's 4th and inches, what would you want to do? You'd probably want to go for it if
I,
you
I
really
think
felt you couldn't stop the other guy.
I think I told you, Danielle, and Dennis, hey, if I'm in that situation with this team, I'm going for that almost every time, because
Right.
if I don't have a good defense, I'm not gonna play defense because, I mean, not only would my defense suck, but I suck on defense myself when I'm using a guy. I mean, I'm not gonna trust that defense.
No. I'm responding to somebody here. Jake's looking for the Lions owner. I guess he's a no-show again.
Oh, again,
Yeah, I think we're gonna end up replacing our Lions guy.
I think he played his first two games right on time, right at advance or something. I haven't seen him since.
No,
At
he
the,
hasn't said a word.
let's see.
We went through fourth downs. We went through.
How about the quick snap? Let's hit the quick snap because
Yeah, yeah.
that can be, that can be policed however somebody could want to really with what is a quick snap. If guys are coming out of the huddle, just give a I'm not even going to say a full 5 second. Give a 3 to 5 second buffer for the defensive guy. Let him at least get set up on somebody that he wants to play. Let him make at least one move. Obviously, if you're going to snap it in the first 3 to 5 seconds, I don't think you're going to be making a whole ton of uh, hot routes. So I don't think we have to worry about that. I mean,
No, but you figure at least from what I do is when I come out, I never hit the A button to rush to the line of scrimmage. I let my guys walk up to the line, and then I'll wait 1 or 2 seconds from there, maybe 3 seconds at the most, because it takes them a couple of seconds just to get to the line. And that time, the second to get to the line, the guy on defense has time to grab the player he wants or hot route anybody or change the zone or something. You don't have to rush to the line and then sit there for 5 seconds. Just let you guys take their time there. And if you're gonna start audible and that time in between is giving the other guy time to make his defensive adjustments too.
uh, I mean, I think everything's pretty. I think everything else is pretty basic stuff. I do want to say if you are absolutely destroying the computer, and I think at least from everything I've heard from you, Rich, I think that we're gonna look at into toying with the CPU sliders a little, maybe to make it a little more difficult. I think.
I think so. From what I've seen from the scores in the CPU games, they're pretty lopsided. I'm not seeing too many close games. I want to say we did see a guy lose to the CPU or maybe two in week 1 or 2. But the last couple of games that I've seen, I mean, it's not even really a contest. We had one guy go up 52-0. We had another one that was, I want to say, like 35-10 or 35-17.
I almost lost to the Eagles. I think it was week one I played them, but I mean, I don't know. I guess I'd rather lose my games to the CPU than to see guys absolutely just destroying the CPU and basically having a free win. I think that's what it comes down to. You don't ever want to see guys with free wins.
No, I'm same here. Because you might as well give them the same win if that's the case. You just don't, and which I don't think would be the right way to go about that. Uh,
I definitely don't like that idea.
I don't want it to where guys are just losing constantly. I played in the league beginning of the year that was all Madden sliders, and the computer was damn near impossible to beat. It was so frustrating to play. I ended up quitting the league because the league we only had like 15 guys, so it seemed like every week I was playing against the computer. It was just impossible to have fun doing that. And we don't want guys playing against the computer and dreading that game. I'd rather them go into the game thinking I'm probably going to win, but I really might not win here. I kind of have to be on my toes. I can't just run the same player, or I can't just call a basic defense and I'm going to beat the computer today.
The main reason I brought that up, though, we have seen a few blowouts, and I think in a couple of them, I don't think the starters were benched. I think we had a few pretty big stat lines. And I think it's something, I think I mentioned it over the weekend. We definitely got to look into it. It's definitely one of the priorities. Maybe putting a stat cap on, on a few positions, just so that.
The only thing I worry about with that though is I played in a game earlier this season where I was up 42-7 at halftime or right after halftime. I was up 42-7, so I benched all my starters. Well, that asshole came back and damn near beat me in that game. I mean, he got within a touchdown, and he had the ball. He had a chance to tie the game. So it kind of worries me if you're going to bench players, on as far as how far the score is. So I think we have to do it more as like how much time is left in the game, not so much as where your numbers are at for that game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. I think there's a lot of different things we could do though to change some things up just with the CPU. So we'll definitely have to look into that a little bit. Maybe you, Danielle, and Dennis, we can all have our different opinions, and we could just not move anything.
Yeah. Just sit there and stare at each other like we don't know what we're doing.
One thing.
I think at some point there's going to be a CPU change. I don't know if it's going to be during the season. I'd rather wait till after, if we can. But I think there's going to be a change at some point.
Another thing I want everybody to know is, and this is one of the sole reasons, well, not only because I get along with you, why I reached out to you to start this league, but also because I don't agree with you on every little thing. So, but we work, and we don't get upset with each other over disagreements. So I think that's gonna definitely help out. And I know Danielle and Dennis aren't guys who generally get upset. Well, they don't really get upset over anything. They are people. So I think we have a good team together to actually get a lot of stuff done in this league.
That's kind of what I like about Dennis and Danielle is that even if you and I are saying like this is what we think, they might have two different opinions, and they'll tell us, well, this is what I think, and this is what I think. They're not going to sit there and just agree with us and be yes men. They have their own opinions.
Right.
That's really what I want. I remember talking to you at the beginning when we first started talking about making the league was I wanted guys in the league that had strong opinions and that they were going to give their opinions. They weren't just going to sit back and, well, I don't know if I should say anything, I don't know. No, we want guys to say things because the only way we're going to improve and keep it going long term is by having guys who have opinions. And the big key to our polls and voting is to make sure that you guys actually have a voice, not just oh, this is my opinion, and then we look at it and go away with it. I can tell y'all now, anytime that anyone sends me any kind of message about a question about the game or the sliders or anything like that, I automatically send that to our commissioner chat. And same thing with the other commissioners. They'll send it in the chat, and we'll all look at it. It's not just one guy. I'm never blowing you off, just like the other commissioners are never blowing you off. They look at it. They might just like it and then move on, but they take a picture of it and they send it into the main chat to make sure that it's not, into the commissioner chat. That way there's no, well, I didn't really say it that way. You're getting exactly what the guy told you.
And, if somebody has a question or a change or anything, we might not get to it right away, right when we see that message, but I think we do a pretty good job at getting to it, within a day or so. So.
Yeah, we all have lives outside of Madden. We're at work during the day or whatever it is, so it's kind of hard to deal with everything at one time.
Night and day.
Right. Right. And for the most part, we haven't had that many complaints. There's been a few here and there, but nothing major. The biggest complaint I've seen is sliders, and it's not overwhelming to where it's I'm going to quit the league if we don't change this, or it's a whole bunch of people complaining about one thing. But
Right.
for the most part, the complaints that we do get are typically the same thing. It's not they're not complaining about everything. It's about the pass rush. It's about sacks. It's about interceptions. It's typically the same thing, and it's
Speak,
not a lot of people.
Speaking of complaining, I also want to say I don't think I've seen, well, at least not that I've seen, and of course I'm not on the chat, 24/7. I don't get the updates on my phone or anything, but one thing I haven't seen is I haven't seen any arguments over games, or rule disagreements. I mean, it's been very, very seldom that I see anything about anybody disagreeing about games. So
No, I think we only had two or three guys that had an issue, and I think all those guys are gone. They didn't stay around. They didn't stick around to see how it was going to shape up, I guess.
that's awesome
You
because
know,
that was a huge thing for me. I mean, that was a huge part of me wanting to do this, and getting guys together that actually just want to play. Yeah, we're gonna be competitive. We're all gonna want to win, but I mean, we want to have fun. So I think that's huge.
it comes down to it really is just a game that we're playing on a console. And there's no reason to attack anyone personally. There's no reason, if you want to talk trash, that's okay. Everybody's gonna talk trash when it comes to sports. It's fine. Just you kind of have to watch what you're saying and how you say it.
Oh,
Because
absolutely. It's always okay to tell Rich how bad he is at Madden. I mean, there's
yes, yes. Because I'm pretty bad. Don't let me fool you by my 2-1 record. But it's true. I mean, you can tell someone. I don't want to say they suck, but you can talk trash here and there. If it's during just the main thing that we didn't like or don't like about some leagues is whenever it's in the middle of a game and a guy is just flooding up the main chat with complaints about the game. Like, this guy ran slants 4 times in a row. This guy ran drags for the third time this game. And then the game's not on Twitch, so it makes it even worse.
I've been there. You know what? I've done that. I've been that guy. So I know it happens. It stinks, and I think that's what I've been trying to get away from. And I definitely think this might be the group that does it for me. So
I hope so.
definitely,
It, it's not like it's really affecting anyone by doing it. It's just when I look at my phone and I remember waking up one morning and this is talking about another league we played in. Uh, I had like 400 messages from overnight, which I knew that when I woke up, the only time I get that many messages at one time or overnight is when someone's complaining about something. And sure enough, that's what it was. Somebody was just going off about a game and just wouldn't stop. You know, I don't want to have to go back and read through because I try to read everything you guys say in the main chat. You
right.
know, I have time usually, and I'll go through it. And even if I haven't read in a little while, I'll go back and read through it. But I don't want to go back and have to read through 400 messages of somebody complaining about a drag route or
That,
streaks. And it's not just me. I'm sure no one else wants to do that either. You'd rather come read and see some information about the league or just general sports talk. You'd rather see that with 400 messages than some guy just crying because he lost. And you're going to notice for the new Rise to Sim leagues, the only time somebody complains about something not being sim is when they lose. If they're winning, they won't say anything. You can run the same play all game long. They won't say anything if they're winning. But if you're beating them, they're going to damn sure come out and start complaining about it.
absolutely. Um, which brings us to the next thing, broadcasting. I was asked a couple times by a couple different people who newly joined the league. I think in the last week or so. Um, do they have to broadcast every single game? Um, computer games. If you're playing the CPU, yes, broadcast every game. Twitch is not gonna. It's not gonna make you lag if you don't have an online connection. So you do have to broadcast every CPU game unless we're aware of an issue there.
And there's reasons for that. It's whenever if we see a stat line that your quarterback threw for 600 yards, we need to be able to go back and justify that you threw for 600 yards in that game. You know, you don't want to throw those kinds of yards and then we find out that the score was 77 to nothing and you had no reason to put up those kinds of stats. Because it's really not fair to the rest of the league. Whenever you do that, you're trying to get your player to be MVP or you're trying to get the you're trying to break records in passing or whatever the case may be, that's fine if you want to break a record, but don't try to do it against a computer. That's never okay. Do it against another user so it looks more legit.
Right. User games. I guess it's a little more tricky, and I feel for the guys who can't broadcast because I'm one of those guys usually. Um, if neither person is able to broadcast, I think there just needs to be an understanding not to play like a jerk. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know is that. Uh, I mean, if there's complaints or broken rules or anything like that, we're not going to be able to do anything. I'm not going to take somebody's hearsay. I mean, especially right now, I'm just getting to know everybody. I can't hearsay is nothing to me.
yeah. Because you really don't know what kind of track record any of these guys have at this point. So if you start complaining about somebody, the only thing we can tell you is we're gonna watch his next game, or listen to see if anybody else complains about it, because there's nothing we can do. Not that no one's calling you a liar or saying that we don't believe you. It's just you kind of have to do it that way right now. For now,
Right.
season 3 and 4 might be different. It might be like, well, this guy's never complained before. Now he's saying something about that guy. So maybe we really need to take it seriously.
I noticed a lot of disconnects both this past league week and the week before. Is that like a is that just a Madden issue? Is that just the Madden servers that they've been kind of junky lately, or
I think it's Madden. I had problems last week in the other league with connecting, only with certain players. I haven't had too many problems. I know I've had problems with Twitch. Today I uninstalled it and then installed it back into the Xbox, and now it seems to be working fine. So you guys who are having issues, maybe try that. Uh, the one thing that I guess is a little concerning is the CPU disconnects. I haven't seen prior to this season. I haven't seen many CPU disconnects, and I
I
don't.
I've seen a couple times where, if it's in the loading screen, like when you're first booting into the game and it's on that loading screen, sometimes it'll freeze and kick you back to the menu. I'm not sure if it counts that as a start, um, but I know, and this is something that's always just absolutely bothered me because I can't really understand it. These games are hard loaded onto our hard drives. Well,
Mm.
for 95% of us, right? For some reason, they will still freeze, and I have no clue why they do that. If it's loaded onto the hard drive, it shouldn't freeze. But I'm not a computer guy, but I don't think it should.
No,
Uh,
I mean I kind of agree with that. I don't know that much about computers, but it seems like if it's on there, there's no reason your hard drive can't really be skipping. It's not reading a disk, you know.
it's just nonsense. But I don't know. I guess that's something we just watch for. We hope everybody can be honest. We don't want to screw a guy who started a game and it froze or something. So I guess that's just something we got to take honesty a little bit into consideration. I don't want to see guys, starting games 3, 4 times. I really don't want to see them starting them twice. But I mean, if it happens, we'll figure something out.
Well, if it's a CPU game, you should be twitching it anyway. Stream it up on
Ah,
Twitch. So if your Twitch is on, we're gonna see it disconnect. So it kind of erases all the doubt. If you're not streaming it, and you get a disconnect, how do we know you didn't just quit the game because you were losing? We don't know that.
what
And
else do we
it's
got?
and it's the same thing. Well, on the Twitch thing, it's the same thing if you're playing against a user and the game disconnects. If you disconnect and your stream is running, you can tell by the stream because the stream keeps running even though the game disconnected. If the stream cuts out, we know it wasn't just the game disconnected. You might have pulled the internet or something. So it's another reason why streaming your games are very important.
All right. I don't know if there's anything else we really need to go over. I think you did a pretty good job in that first podcast.
Yeah, we knocked out a lot in the first one, and then even today we've knocked out a good bit. I wanted to talk about the Super Bowl winner prize.
Okay. So when we first started, I think I mentioned like maybe a $50 prize or something, right?
Mhm.
I didn't say maybe. I said definitely. I got a few guys, like 4 or 5 guys, uh, basically saying, well, what's $50? And I agree. to an extent. One, it's coming out of my pocket at some point.
Yeah.
Two, um, I don't know. I don't see a lot of leagues, giving out trophies and everything like that. So maybe a championship trophy would be better. Receive it, take a picture with it, post it, brag about it. I don't see any other leagues with a trophy for their Super Bowl. I mean, I think that'd be pretty cool. Or maybe we could do something else. Maybe I'll leave it as a surprise. I'll just get together with the Super Bowl winner and you know get something that they're actually playing for. I guess I'm not really sure. I know the poll was. I think it was like 8-5 on the trophy. So I'm leaning towards the trophy thing. Maybe a hat too. I don't know. We'll see.
I like the trophy thing. Not that I couldn't use $50 today, but the trophy thing. I think we could, if like you said, if you send it to the guy, he takes a picture with it. We can put it up on Daddy Leagues. We can put it up on Operation Sports. We can, kind of showcase the league, and then showcase our owners that are the better owners, the better players.
We
Uh,
could showcase it quite a bit, and I think that'd be cool, even for people who aren't in the league. Operation Sports, they have a lot of people who don't even play in leagues that actually pay attention to these leagues. That's
yeah.
that's one of the reason why I want to see some activity on the forums too, because I mean, I don't know, it keeps it fun for everybody. Not just the guys playing. So it's pretty cool.
Well, that was another thing I wanted to. Probably the last thing I wanted to talk about was being active on Operation Sports and Daddy Leagues on what you can do on both. Uh, on
We
Operation Sports, you can go on there. You can post whatever you want, any kind of article about your team. Where is that? Infamous Fridge did a post today. He did on Daddy Leagues. It wouldn't let him post on Operation Sports today. He just created his account, so I'm not sure if he has to wait 24 hours or what the deal is with that. But he kept telling him that he couldn't post. Do you
yeah,
know
I'm
what
not,
that is?
I'm not sure how they work it. I think they have to. I think they have to be approved by one of the administrators there, or unless maybe he's got to go to his email and confirm his
Well,
account.
I asked him that. He said he did verify it.
Oh, okay, so he might have to wait. I'm not sure what's going on. Shoot, man, I joined Operation Sports way back, so I'm not even sure. Um,
Me too. I think I joined it in 2010, 2008 maybe, years back.
I'm hoping. Did he post that on Daddy Leagues at all?
Yeah, it's on the website now. I looked at it. It was posted up there.
I want to check that out because I really think it's going to be pretty cool. I mean, it's not something everybody's got to do, but I think that's going to be cool. Making his own storylines and stuff. I'm going to like it. I'm going to enjoy reading it, following it. So
I
it's
did. I read it. It was a good read. I mean, it's different. Like I said earlier today, this is all fantasy, but it adds to the experience of a CFM. It's not just get on your Xbox, play a game prep, go to the next week. It just adds to it. It kind of gives you more of I
definitely,
guess a good environment.
now that I see him do that, I mean, I'm starting to think of coming up with some not crazy, but some different kind of stuff here that I could do with my team. So I mean, I think that's awesome that he's doing that. I think that definitely adds a ton to the league. Um,
I agree. I definitely encourage that. I also encourage. It's kind of early in the season, but we talked about doing mock drafts and having guys do mock drafts. You know, those things are always big hits in a CFM. If you do a mock draft and post it up on Operation Sports and Daddy Leagues and in the main chat, you're gonna have guys talking about it for the next hour or so because somebody's gonna see that you're taking a linebacker when you already have a dominant linebacker, and you can be like, why the hell is that me taking that? So it's always a big hit with mock drafts.
um, and getting back to the Operation Sport activity, I just want to hit on it. Activity on Operation Sports, it's going to establish to people, hey, we're active still. Games are being played. This is a league built to last. It's not something that's going to disappear overnight. Um,
Yeah,
it's going to be much easier, and I mean, like 99% easier to fill empty teams when people can see, and hear about the amount of activity going on in the league. They can see, they know people are playing their games. They know that the league's nearly full. Uh, you know, like we were just talking about, post like fun little news articles, power rankings, rookie awards, uh, anything you think would be cool. We definitely are going to encourage, and we're going to have fun with it too. Um, I think that this league, I'm not sure if it's more than other leagues, or, I mean, I'm hoping it's going to be, but I definitely think this league is the experience you get out of it is going to be what you put into it yourself, and I mean that might be the same with any league. Um, so, I mean, have fun with it. There's no point in not having fun with it, especially if you just shoot. What do we got? Maybe 3 league seasons, 4 league seasons at
Yeah,
most.
I think we're max of 4, but probably 3.
So I mean, play with some stuff. Have some fun. Try some new things. See if you want to keep doing it in Madden 17 in terms of like having some of your guys get suspended or something like that. I mean, it's not going to hurt any of us, that's for sure.
Yeah, no. That's another thing that I think I talked about before and explained to some of the guys. But this league, we're starting late in the season. Football season already ended Sunday. There's no more Sunday football or college football or anything. But uh, the big thing is we want to get a really good core, a base core of guys in the league, so that whenever Madden 17 does come out, we're already off to a running start. That we're searching to find guys to start week 1. This way, whenever Madden comes out, typically you have to wait for an update before you can really do anything. But as soon as we're able to run, we can just take off, and we have a league full of guys, full of good guys, and it's ready to go. You know,
Absolutely. Uh, I'm going to say right now, I did not think that we'd have, what do we got, 27 guys in right now playing? Uh,
28.
28. Okay, so there you go. I did not think we'd be even close to 28. I was thinking, oh, we'll get 17, 18 guys, spread them out between the two conferences, and we'll just have a small core group of guys that we can carry into Madden 17 before we get all these new guys. But I think 28 guys definitely exceeds my expectations for the rest of the cycle. So if we can keep everybody active, I think Madden 17 is going to be absolutely awesome.
It will be. I mean, and you're right. I remember talking to you before we started the league officially. You were talking like you wanted 15 to 18 guys in that range just to start. And next thing we knew, we had 20 guys, and we're like, okay, well, let's try to get to 25. And then we get to 25, and the league started. And we're kind of just cruising along. There's another thing I want to thank all you guys for and kind of congratulate y'all for the most part is, we just got into week 5, and we haven't had a late advance yet. Every advance has been early. Granted, tonight was a little bit early, but even still, the early is better than late. And you guys are doing a fantastic job getting games in. We have guys like Nick, the Packers guy, who's constantly pushing. Our Raiders guy, I think it's Tico is his name. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but he'll push to get games in all the time. And I'm all for that. If you guys want to take the bull by the horns and kind of push the league and make sure guys are getting games in, I'm all for that. It makes our job easier. We're not worried about who's playing when, and you know it makes it easier. It makes me know that you guys actually care about the league and are actually involved in it, which is great.
I think it's awesome. Just as long as everybody does still realize that we do get 48 hours for a reason. So if guys want to schedule to the last little bit of that 48 hours, I mean that's fine because I understand everybody's got a life. I mean, shoot,
Yeah,
you
I guess I should say also is that if the game isn't played before the 48 hours is up, don't give the guy any crap for it or the teams any crap. Because like you just said, everybody has a life, so it's kind of hard to get your games in. Sometimes within that 2 days. Personally, I play in 2 leagues. I know other guys play in more leagues than that. So sometimes you just don't have the time to fit in that game, which is fine. As long as we know that, or the commissioners know, when I say we, I mean the commissioners in the league, as long as we know that your game is scheduled for 8 o'clock Eastern time, or I guess Central, that'd be 9 o'clock Eastern, it's fine. Just let us know ahead of time so that we're, because guys are going to be asking us, when are we advancing? When are we advancing? Well, outside of looking at the top of our main chat where it tells you when we're advancing, yeah, we're trying to get an early advance, but if we can't, we can't. It's not a huge deal.
Okay, and I don't know how you feel about this, but people do get busy. If you need a small extension on advance, just let one of the commissioners know. I mean, I think we could always work something out. I'm not real hot on extending it more than a few hours, but I mean, if it needs an hour, 2 hours, before you guys are gonna start a little after the scheduled advance time, just let us know. We'll figure something out. Just so
Yeah,
this we can get more games in.
yeah. If you're starting after advance, I'm okay with that. The only problem that we run into there is like you and I, and I'm sure Danielle and Dennis, same thing. We're the four guys who can advance the league. Uh, if the game's going to end too late, we're not going to be up to advance the league, so you're going to have to wait till morning time to actually get the advance in.
Right, right.
But I mean, again, I'd rather you play the game late than have to sim the game.
Um, why don't we talk about you know what? I just Why don't we talk about recruiting? How about that?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, if anyone has friends or finds a good sim player online, by all means send them to us, or tell them about the league. Tell them the good, tell them the bad too, because no league's going to be perfect, and any league that claims to be perfect, and I've been in a few really great leagues. They aren't being honest about their league. I'm going to tell you that right now, because there ain't one single perfect league out there. Um, if they want to join, great. If not, but they still want a league, I'll direct them to another, because I do know of a few good leagues, and I think what that's going to do is it's going to make us better at recruiting than most. Because I mean, personally, me at least, I think this: the ability to say, okay, if you're not interested, maybe you let me help you out, and I can direct you to these guys over here, and maybe their league will work out better. I think that makes guys, come back in a
yeah,
way. I guess.
yeah, yeah. I agree with you because what ends up happening there is you get a guy, and this kind of leads to another point though. I mean, I'm going to use the Eagles guys as an example, where he just got pissed off at the rules and quit in game and left the league, which I thought was a little childish. But like Chris is saying here, uh, if that's the case where you just absolutely can't stand the rules, tell a commissioner like Chris, and he can direct you to another league. You don't have to just quit and go back off to searching for another league and have a chance of running into the same issue that you had in our league.
I mean, yeah, I know of at least three. I mean, yeah, I'm not playing in them anymore. I know there's reasons for that, but I know of at least three really good leagues. They all get their games in. There's 30, 32 users. I mean, I'll direct you right to them. I'll grab one of my buddies from there, and I'll talk to them and get you in there. I mean, there's no point in not playing. I mean, let's not just build the league. Let's help build the community in general, and maybe we can make it better as a whole.
Yeah, yeah. Not just it's not just for us. It's just for the overall Madden community. Not it's not just you. They can talk to Chris Pruitt, our Patriots guy, plays in a lot of leagues. I'm sure Brett, our Dallas guy, knows some guys, some other leagues too. Outside of this one, he's played in a couple of leagues. Uh, I'm not sure who else has played in a lot. I don't know how many Dennis and Danielle play in. As far as I know, they're only in two, but they could be in a couple more. I think that's the only ones I know that play in other leagues besides our Colts guy. And I don't know if he's actively playing in another league. I know he's played in other leagues. But yeah, recruiting is huge. I mean, that's why we talked about Operation Sports and Daddy Leagues. If we're active on those sites, because guys do go to Daddy Leagues to find leagues. If they see that we're being active and we're having fun with it, it'll just kind of give them more of it. It'll be more enticing for someone to join our league. And one funny thing about you talk about being honest, I got more. There's a couple guys I recruited from Reddit, and I got more hits on Reddit when I was like brutally honest about our sliders than when I was just kind of vague about, well, we're on all Madden, we have our sliders, blah blah blah. When I went into depth about how it's you're gonna get sacked, you're gonna have to throw, you're gonna throw interceptions, you're not gonna have these big games. I got more responses from that than the easier posts.
Right. I mean, yeah, a lot of guys just they'd rather talk and play games with somebody who's going to be honest. I mean, that's understandable. I don't know. I'll always direct guys if our league doesn't fit them, even if they tell us they want to leave. I'll always direct them to another league because I know that I'd want somebody to do that for me.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The other thing with recruiting is, you know, yeah, we're doing the recruiting, but by all means, like Chris said earlier, or you said earlier, uh, if you know anybody, send them our way. But if you know other websites also that have Madden forums and they're always looking for league players, let us know. If you want to go and recruit there, that's fine with me too. But if you don't want to put in that kind of, I guess, not extra work, but you just don't have the time, or whatever the reason may be, just let us know, and then we'll go to that site and we'll create an account. We'll do the recruiting over there. Because I know there's more sites than just Daddy Leagues and Operation Sports that has Madden Sim Leagues or just CFMs in general.
Are we geez, are we on the air still?
Yeah, we
This
are.
this guy's saying he can't hear anything on it. Huh.
I think they can hear. It looks like
That would be one hell of a thing if we were just talking to ourselves the whole time.
well, it says live, so I don't know for sure if they can hear it, but I know when we're done they can definitely hear it. But I'm pretty sure if they go to the YouTube page, the League Legends Premier, it's just Legends Premier YouTube channel. On there, it'll tell you. Uh, it'll have our link on there.
Huh.
It's kind of hard to find. You can't just type in Legends Premier into the YouTube search bar and have it come up because you get all kind of soccer things when you do that. But if you go into the channel specifically, I think we're the first one on there,
Huh.
and
Yeah, that's
and you'll see a little purple symbol, little white and purple symbol, our GFL symbol. I mean, not GFL, our LPL symbol. Kind of made a slip up there. You'll see that on in our for our profile picture.
all right. Let's see. Oh man, I hate this group me. I can't ever tag the right person on here. Uh,
Looks like Jake's saying that it says he needs a Gmail account. I think in Jake's case, he's trying to log into our chat specifically, not just
Because I posted the call in link. I keep telling people to call in, but nobody wants to call in and talk to us, Rich. So I think what they need is they need this link right here. I think they need that one, right? Or is that the same
well,
one?
I'm pulling up the first link. I'm gonna try pulling up this one and see what happens. This is all new to us too. It's not, we'll get this figured out eventually.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Rich like just uh, hooked me up with this app, and when we first started, I could not figure out for the life of me if it was on or not. And then he tells me you can see my forehead and stuff. So I mean, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that link you posted doesn't bring you to the live broadcast. That's fine. They can listen to it afterwards. It'll definitely be on YouTube. I'll post the link on in the chat.
Oh man, we gotta
Be able to hear it.
we gotta toy with this a little too. We
Yeah.
gotta figure out, how everything works completely. So this way we can have people call and stuff like that. I know we've already got mock draft planned. I think I messaged you, Rich, that I had a terribly awful great idea come to mind when we were starting the podcast up. So I mean, did I message you that?
I think so.
Great idea for the Super Bowl. Actually, we could just talk about it real quick on here because I mean, what the hell? It's easier, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that if we could, if I guess it depends if the Super Bowl is going to be broadcast. If one of the two guys in the Super Bowl has broadcasting abilities, we could quite technically, I think, uh, broadcast the game on the air as well because we could have people pull up the video broadcast on Twitch and listen to us at the same time. And I think it'll play right through their computer, right?
I believe so.
So if they put us on a tab behind the video tab for Twitch, we'd be game on, right?
Hold on. I'm trying to figure out this link thing. I'm sorry. I backed up here. I'm not getting anywhere. Now, what you're saying? Say that again.
So we could now if the Super Bowl's broadcasted, right? And I'm hoping it's broadcasted because I know I'm going to want to watch it, especially if they're playing for a trophy.
Yeah.
Uh, we could, guys could watch the Super Bowl on a Twitch feed, turn the sound off, and we could be broadcasting at the same time while we're watching the game.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that would work like that.
I've seen a lot of leagues do that. I don't know. I think there's a way to overlay it all together. I'm gonna look into it too because I think that'd be pretty freaking cool to do.
You're talking about broadcasting like in the game itself?
No, no. Okay, while the game's running, uh, we all watch Twitch, with those terrible announcers and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, we can have them turn the sound off to the Twitch feed, right?
Uh,
Uh, I mean, you have to do it on a laptop or a computer, so uh, it wouldn't be for everybody maybe, but they could put us on a secondary tab and watch the video while the secondary tab's playing the podcast.
yeah. Well, what they could do if we're going to do that, which I kind of want to do that now. Uh, if we if all they have to do is pull up on Twitch on their Xbox and pull the game up, turn the volume off, and then go to the link to our YouTube page on their phone, and then they can listen to us on their phone while they're watching the game on the Xbox.
I think we have a great idea here.
I think so.
Just something else for my wife to pick on me for, because she's been ragging on me since we started this league about she found a notebook the other day on the table of all the rules before I actually figured out that I could use Google Documents to. She found a notebook. She goes, great. My husband's such a nerd because he's got a notebook full of video game junk here. Yeah,
It's all
so,
about Madden, though.
I mean, earlier we just started this podcast and she walked through the kitchen and she's giggling to herself. I knew exactly what she was laughing at right when she walked through, but
Of
that is,
course.
we're all geeks, jockey, competitive geeks, I guess, right?
Yep. We're all computer jockeys.
Um, I saw on your list too earlier that you sent me. You want to know what was going on with Daddy Leagues. Uh, that site is giving me headaches right now.
What's the
Uh,
issue with that?
oh, it works fantastic, but I think as most of you guys could see, the layout's kind of weird. Um, like the news story that was posted earlier. The league article, like the blogs that we post, are all the way at the bottom. I don't like that. I want them up at the top so everybody can see them, so we can actually read the things and find them. Um, but as far as the layout goes, it's pretty basic. I mean, it works really well. I'm not really a fan of that. Um, but it's all in CSS. I have no clue how to do all this, so I've been going on this site to show me how to do it. It's just taking some time right now. It seems like everything I do kind of just messes it up a little more. Then I got to put it back and figure out what I changed to mess it up and back and forth.
Yeah.
It's not like doing the sliders, and it's kind of a headache.
Yeah, just figured out how to do the link thing. I posted it up on our main chat, and if they click on that, it's a live feed.
There we go.
Now we're getting somewhere.
All right. Yeah. So basically, though, I'm gonna, I'm eventually gonna figure Daddy Leagues out, and I'm gonna change the layout a little. I'm not gonna. I see a lot of leagues with a ton of flash uh, on it and stuff. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna keep it pretty basic once I figure it all out, and so this way it
Yeah,
actually works correctly on our phones and stuff.
I don't hate the way it is now, honestly, because I find it pretty easy to navigate through it.
I
You know,
like
the
it. I
the,
just
the,
want.
the main thing I look at is stats and scores, and as long as that's easily accessible, I'm fine with it. The same thing with team pages. Another league I'm in on Daddy Leagues, it's kind of a pain to get to team pages. You have to click on one tab, wait for it to load, then watch the teams load up. Sometimes it doesn't load up all the way. The
I,
way it
I,
is, the way it is right now, you just click on a team at the top of the screen and it goes to the league or goes to the
absolutely.
team.
Yes, I'm probably definitely gonna try to get our around the league tab, which is actually all the way at the bottom of the page. I'm gonna try to move that up top so this way we can, when people start posting articles or whatever they want to post on there, it could be up at the top, and you know, it's basically how that's gonna work out, I think.
We hope.
I'll have it all backwards. People will be complaining about it.
All right. I believe that was everything we wanted to talk about today. We had a
That,
pretty good
I think
hour-long broadcast podcast. Uh, is there anything else you want to touch on?
it's up to you. I mean, whatever you want to do here.
My notebook's all checked off now.
Oh man.
I don't have 3 pages of notes like you have.
I do want to let the rest of the league know that if they could hand the Panthers, the Bucks, and the New Orleans Saints some losses, that'd be greatly appreciated because I'm going to need all the help I can get.
Good luck with that because Danielle's not an easy win.
Oh man, you know what? When we first started the league, I thought he was the perfect guy for the Bears because he's a really good user. You know, he doesn't complain about losing. He doesn't overly brag about winning. And I just thought if he was the Bears, I wouldn't have to play him that often. And now he's got probably, well, in my opinion, he's got one of the best teams in the league because he's got Cam Newton. So
Yep.
I'm pretty scared to play him, honestly.
Cam Newton and Kelvin Benjamin.
I think I'm gonna get my ass waxed. You know, I'm a little worried about it. We'll see.
I think you will too.
Ouch.
And I've played you. I know, but that's just Danielle with that team. That's dangerous.
Man,
Right now, I don't want to make a real early Super Bowl prediction, but I would say Danielle's probably one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl.
oh man, you want to do Super Bowl predictions? Why don't we? Super Bowl predictions. You know what? I'm really hell-bent on the AFC right now because I think the Raiders are sneaky good, and I think
The thing about the Raiders though is I haven't watched any of his broadcast yet, so I don't have a real opinion on him. I've seen his record. I think he's 4 or 5 or 0 now, but I haven't watched his games to really know how he's playing.
um, I think Chris, who uses the Patriots, I think he's gonna be the guy to beat right now. I mean, shoot, he's putting up huge numbers, and he's keeping guys from putting up numbers. But then again, he's also got. I think has he played a couple computer games? I'm not sure. I think he's played 2 computer games.
I don't
I'm
know.
sure. Let me know now that I got it wrong, probably. But yeah, I think he's going to be the team to beat. So I'm going to go with the Patriots, and then I'm going to go with the Cowboys on the other side.
Cowboys. You think Brett's going to take it?
I'm going to go with Brett because I think once he figures out the sliders, I mean we all know he could rush the passer. I think you all heard me complaining about him, the
And
jerk.
I've seen him win a Super Bowl too. So
I've seen
up
him.
to you.
There's Chris now, right? Did he tag me? Anyway, so
Ready?
yeah, Brett's going to be tough to beat. So
Well, I'm going to stick with Danielle and the Panthers in the NFC. Although the first couple of weeks, I thought for sure the Cardinals were going to just run roughshod over the league until he ran into the Rams and quick draw gave him an ass whipping. And so I think you're going to see the Cardinals and I want to say the Cardinals, but I'm kind of partial with or torn between the Packers and the Cowboys for making the NFC Championship game. I think Danielle's going to take it in the NFC in that game. AFC, it's kind of hard to go against Chris right now. I've seen what he can do. Although I've only played him once and I have beat him, so I'm 100% against the almighty Patriots right now. Not in our league, but either way, I have beat him. I definitely can't count myself in that Super Bowl talks for sure with the Titans. Even though I'd like to be there, but I'll be lucky to squeeze into the playoffs.
I'm gonna try to squeeze in. I don't I'll tell you what, man. That game I played against the Texans just a little while ago, I really, really wish the broadcast would have kept going. Man, that game was wild. That
Was
was
it?
like a nightmare. I was get hit by I think everybody on his defense hit Matt Ryan at least once or twice. Uh, I just can't stop the big plays, man. They're killing me. Every time I think I got to stop, and it's like third and long. Somebody breaks off a huge play, and I don't know how to stop that. I watched Brett do it. Brett did it to me. Um, uh, the Giants did it to me, and now the Texans did it to me. I don't think I'm gonna make the playoffs.
Oh man, that'd be bad for the commissioner not to make the playoffs his
I
first
know.
season there. Well, I will say another team that's impressive right now is the Chiefs. Jimmy and his Chiefs right now. He finally has his team, and man, I saw he just ripped somebody 30 to nothing, I believe. His defense is playing great. He has Jamal Charles. He has Jerry Maclin. That team is so stacked, and he seems to be playing well with them. I like the Chiefs for sure.
Hell, yeah, he was really excited to get that team, so I'm kind of glad he got it. Um, I'm not sure to just talking about the league as a whole. I know we're not even sure how teams are going to be selected, or if they're going to be kept, or what's going on with teams for Madden 17.
Uh,
Uh, but let's say go on a limb and say everybody's going to pick teams again. Um, I think it's going to be really important that everybody tries to pick their favorite teams, because when you're in a league with a team that uh, and you're invested with, I think you have a lot more fun with it. Um, I mean, shoot, I've seen it I've done it personally in another league. Um, I was the Falcons for I think two Maddens in this other league, and for some reason I decided to switch teams, thinking I wanted to change the scenery, and I couldn't even play the games. It wasn't fun for me. I think that's a lot of the reason why instead of going to the Bengals, I went with the Falcons. I think everybody should try to get with their favorite teams.
yeah, I agree because I'm the Titans right now, but that's only because I have the Saints in another league. Everyone knows I'm a big Saints fan. But I have the Saints, and I wanted something different for this year. Next year, I'd probably go back to the Saints if no one else wants them. I'll probably take them. Uh, it's much easier to build that team than it will be for the Titans because if I know I'm going to play seven or 8 seasons in, it's not just about the players you have now; it's about the players you're gonna get. So I'd rather be in New Orleans doing that than be in Tennessee doing that for 7 or 8 seasons. You know, don't go out and take the Patriots or take the Broncos because they're gonna be really good, or the Panthers because they're really good. Because those guys are gonna by season 4 and 5 they could suck. If you're not doing a good job as an owner, you could just be left with a shitty team that you don't even like. You know, I guess you have no affiliation with.
Right. Have you read this Johnny Manziel story on Daddy Leagues, by the way?
I did.
I'm digging it. In case everybody's wondering, Johnny Manziel's he's not gonna be on the Browns next season probably. What do you think? Yes.
No, he won't be there. He was considering trading him before the season started, or right at the beginning of the season. He was talking about trading him.
Maybe he should.
He actually had him on the trading block.
Maybe he should have traded him. Altercation with a bouncer at a local club. He, what did it say? He left Johnny with a rotten taste in his mouth, only to wrap his car around a tree. After this was only after he smashed into several cars on the side of the road and almost hit a pedestrian crossing the street with her dog. I mean, come on, Johnny Football, Madden Johnny Football. Come on, man.
I'm reading. I'm going through it again right now, just trying to get a quick thing of it.
Man, we need more of this stuff. I really like it. I don't.
It's a fun read. If you guys haven't read it yet, check it out. It's kind of like I don't know if I don't know if you remember this from a couple of years back, but they had some guys doing it was fake Facebook battles between NFL quarterbacks. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've read those. They're pretty good.
Yeah, that's kind of what this reminds me of. It's fake, but it's fun. It adds a whole other element to the CFM itself.
Let's see. I don't. We're running out of stuff to talk about, man. What we definitely have to work on for the next podcast is we definitely have to work on our closing out because we're not doing a very good job with that.
No, we're
Nobody.
not. I thought we were gonna close out a couple of times here, but we're a good hour in now, so I think we've covered some good time and ground.
I think. I don't know. What do you want? You want to say we could do this every 4 league weeks?
Yeah, we can do it every quarter.
I mean, that'll be pretty cool for everybody. I think we can talk about the sliders if people want changes again, and maybe we'll go over. Maybe we'll do some power rankings. You know, I mean that
Oh,
doesn't take long.
I guess I need to apologize because Webhead asked us to go over the current stats in the league, and honestly, I didn't have time to go through and look at the stats as
Neither.
far as
I was at work, so
all that good stuff. So by week 8, we'll definitely have that down for you. I promise you that we'll have all the stats and we'll go over that and talk more, I guess, about football than our league rules and stuff like that.
definitely. Yeah, because you know what, I needed to get used to this whole thing. So I think next time we'll hash out a plan and we'll really get things rolling here.
Yep, that works for me then. All right, well we'll close with that then. It was a good podcast. Thanks for coming on, and we'll do it again in 4 week or in 4 league weeks.
Alrighty, man.
Later.